Well, now to the following of the fatal shooting of Sonya Massey. Some people in the community are demanding that changes are made to law enforcement.
That's right. News Channel 20's Carson Gordy joins us live in Springfield with the latest on this. Carson?
Although Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson was the one who fatally shot Sonya Massey, the Springfield Police Department says they're willing to listen to the community in an attempt to improve law enforcement. Chief Ken Scarlett spoke at Tuesday's Committee of the Whole meeting and addressed Massey's death and took questions from several aldermen about how Springfield currently conducts policing. Chief Scarlett condemned the actions of Sean Grayson. He added that the Springfield Police Department, along with other local law police departments, will look to rebuild relationships and trust within the community after the actions of the Sangamon County deputy.
I'm mad. I'm extremely frustrated. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed that that person would ever call himself a law enforcement officer.
The chief added that since 2020, Springfield has made reforms to its hiring process, screening out people who are a part of a hateful ideological organization. This came after former police officer Aaron Nichols, who resigned after the department began investigating allegations that he made racist and anti-Semitic remarks on the internet. Ward 2 Alderman Sean Gregory says that he hopes the city passes a reform that would make sure that Springfield sends all cases of police misconduct to a commission board for review. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. We obtained audio of Sonya Massey and her family's multiple phone calls to 911 for mental health assistance just hours before she was fatally shot. Tune in tonight at 10 o'clock to hear those calls.
Illinois Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski spoke about the Sonya Massey investigation today. The Congresswoman applauded authorities for expediting the investigation and for their quick arrest of Sean Grayson. However, Representative Budzinski stressed there is more work needing to be done.
I think now we're at a place where we need to do some investigations into how this police officer actually got on the police force and some hard questions related to that. So I think that this is a conversation, the way I look at it, it's in the very beginning stages.
Budzinski added that she will work with officials at all levels to make sure people are held accountable. Well, questions are being raised about the training for police officers. This comes after former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the death of Sonya Massey. News Channel 20's Julia Rosier learned more about what training police officers have to go through before they're on duty. Julia?
Stacey, that's right. The Illinois Sheriff's Association tells me police officers go through a 16-week training academy, among many other trainings. At the 16-week academy, they're taught about crisis intervention and interacting with other people while on the job. Other types of training include field and online trainings to cover a variety of situations that they may face while on duty.
We teach them the fundamentals of how to, use of force, teach them what they need to know. We do simulations, different kinds of training like that, but it's different when it's live.
The Sheriff's Association says the field training programs officers go through may vary by department. We also reached out to the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board to get some more information on the training requirements and certifications, but we haven't heard back. In studio, I'm Julia Rosier. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. The Sheriff's Association also says officers continue their trainings throughout their career, both online and in person.
2 Sangamon County board members have now called on Sheriff Jack Campbell to resign. Board member Mark Ayers released a statement saying, quote, in part, "Trust in our sheriff has been decimated, and his actions that led to the hiring of former Deputy Sean Grayson showed a lack of judgment and character that must be addressed," end quote. Tony Del Giorno echoed Ayers' statement, saying in part, quote, "I am calling on Sheriff Campbell to put the community ahead of his personal pride and ambition for the good of Sangamon County. He must resign," end quote. You can read both statements on our website. Well, fatal phone call questions are being raised about training for police officers. This comes after former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the death of Sonya Massey.
News Channel 20's Julia Rosier is working for you to learn more about what training police officers have to go through before they're on duty. Julia?
Stacey, Dawn, that's right. The Illinois Sheriff's Association tells me police officers go through a 16-week training academy and many other types of trainings. They talked with me about the importance of these trainings and why the officers go through them. After a former sheriff's deputy is now charged with first-degree murder, questions are being raised about how police officers are trained.
We teach them the fundamentals of how to, use of force, teach them what they need to know.
Officers go through a series of training measures, including a 16-week academy, field training, and online trainings. At the 16-week training academy, they're taught about crisis intervention and interacting with other people while on the job.
We do simulations, different kinds of training like that, but it's different when it's live.
They also participate in field trainings with other officers, where they shadow and learn while on the job.
They're going to ride with another officer. That officer is going to explain what they do. They've got certain benchmarks that they need to meet in order to be released to be on their own. It is something that gets them acclimated to the calls, because the last thing you want to do is just send them out there cold, and they're doing it with a domestic situation and they don't know how to handle it.
The Sheriff's Association says the field training programs officers go through may vary by department, but they emphasize that officers conducting this training must be well prepared.
But ultimately, even with that, you need to make sure that that person that you're trying to train is doing the job in front of you, so that you can see how they're going to act and react to different things and be able to help them in the process.
We also reached out to the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board to get more information on these trainings for requirements and certifications. In studio, I'm Julia Rosier. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. The Sheriff's Association also says officers continue their trainings throughout their career, both online and in person.
Continuing our team coverage now, following the fatal shooting of Sonya Massey, some people in the community are demanding that changes are made to law enforcement. News Channel 20's Carson Gordy joins us live in Springfield with the latest.
Springfield Police Chief Ken Scarlett condemned the actions of the Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson. Although it wasn't his Springfield Police Department, the chief says that he's willing to go out in the community and rebuild relationships and trust after the actions of a Sangamon County deputy. Chief Ken Scarlett spoke at Springfield's Tuesday Committee of the Whole meeting and addressed Massey's death and took questions from several aldermen about how Springfield currently conducts policing. Although Sangamon County Sheriff Deputy Sean Grayson was the one who fatally shot Sonya Massey, the Springfield Police Department says they're willing to listen to the community and make changes to improve law enforcement.
We have worked hard in this community to repair relationships, to build trust, and I'll continue to do that. But this one rogue deputy has ruined a lot of the progress that we've made.
Ward 2 Alderman Sean Gregory says he hopes the city passes a reform that would make sure that all reports of police misconduct within the Springfield Police Department would be able to be sent over to a commission for review. The chief of police added that since 2020, Springfield has made reforms to its hiring process, screening out candidates who have exposed hateful ideology over on the internet. Aaron Nichols, who resigned, he resigned after the department started to investigate allegations of racist and anti-Semitic remarks in 2020. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thanks, Carson. We did receive audio of Sonya Massey and her family's multiple phone calls to the 911 dispatch for mental health assistance just hours before she was fatally shot. Coming up tonight on News Channel 20 at 10, we will hear those calls. Following the listening session on Monday, several county board members are now calling on Sheriff Jack Campbell to resign. We're taking a look at the Facebook post by Mark Ayers. He's urging other board members to do the same. Board member Tony Del Giorno took to social media saying Campbell has lost the confidence and trust of the community. We are continuing to look for answers in the death of Sonya Massey.
Sonya was shot and killed in her home on July 6th during an encounter with Sangamon County deputies. She had called 911 to report a possible prowler outside of her home.
Sangamon County received multiple 911 calls about Sonya Massey just days and hours before she was fatally shot by a deputy.
News Channel 20's Carson Gordy joins us live in the studio tonight after listening to those recordings.
On July 4th, 5th, and 6th, the Sangamon County Dispatch received 5 calls from either Sonya or her mother, who was concerned about her daughter's mental health. The first call was at 9:26 p.m. on July 4th. The call lasted for only 34 seconds.
911, what's the address for your emergency? Hello, 911.
I'm cool. Yeah,
Hello, 911.
The next morning on July 5th at 9:07, Sonya's mother called 911 dispatch in regards to her daughter.
Daughter is being sporadic, and she's been mentally having a mental breakdown which is something new to me. She's not a danger to herself. She's not a danger to me.
Her mother had a request for 911 dispatch and law enforcement when going to help her daughter dealing with mental health.
Please don't send no combative policemen that are prejudiced, please.
Okay, well, that would be none of them, man. They just do their job, okay?
No, they're all fucked up. They're scary. I'm scared of the police. Please
Okay,
be
there's
careful.
nothing to be fearful of, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This was one of 2 times on July 5th that Sangamon County officials sent medical attention for Sonya.
Okay, and why did your neighbor hit you with a brick?
Well, come find out, because, y'all, I can't tell you when I'm hurting real bad. And,
Around 2 p.m. on July 5th, a Sangamon County deputy helped make sure that Massey got to St. John's Hospital for assistance. The sheriff's office wrote in a report, in quote, Sonya then admitted to breaking her own window on the back driver's side in an attempt to get into the car to get away from a neighbor. Law enforcement arrived at Massey's home once more on July 6 at 12:50 a.m. Massey had called dispatch after concerns of a prowler outside. Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson arrived to her home. According to court documents, Grayson shot and killed Massey after concerns of a hot pot of water. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. We asked Sangamon County whether Grayson had access to these call records and reports written by law enforcement and dispatch. The county says at this time it's unknown what Grayson had access to or saw before he entered Massey's home.
She was senselessly murdered by a person who wears a uniform, by a person who swore to uphold the same oath that I did. And because of that, I'm mad.
That was Chief Ken Scarlett at last night's Committee of the Whole meeting. Chief Scarlett condemned the actions of Sean Grayson, saying the Springfield Police Department, along with multiple local police departments, will look to rebuild relationships and trust within the community after the action of this Sangamon County deputy.
We are continuing to dig deeper into the background of former Deputy Sean Grayson, who's charged with first-degree murder for the death of Sonya Massey. News Channel 20's Carolina Hassett joins us now after discovering several findings from his past police departments. Carolina?
That's right. We received Sean Grayson's personnel file from Sangamon County, as well as documents from past police departments, many questioning why he was hired in the first place. And some findings in the reports may have those answers.
Former Deputy Sean Grayson was no stranger to other police departments in central Illinois. Grayson worked at 5 different law enforcement agencies prior to Sangamon County. And according to Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell, that can be normal for a law enforcement career. Campbell saying, quote, "This is a standard career path in this field. What I prefer to see is movement to progressively larger and more structured agencies with higher levels of public interaction, which indicates professional growth and ambition." These documents also show that the sheriff's office reached out to departments where Grayson was employed in the past. The Logan County Sheriff's Office and the Auburn and Verdon Police Departments all agree Grayson needed more training. In the notes made by Sangamon County based on their conversation with Verdon, it says, quote, "Grayson did not demonstrate good officer safety skills. However, Chief Snodgrass advised me he believes that was because he was new to the job." Documents also show Grayson did have a psychological evaluation. The report said he met the standards, however, he scored low on cognitive assessment, saying, quote, "It will take him longer to learn, process, and apply new material compared to others." It later went on to say that he knows he moves too fast at times and needs to slow down in order to make good decisions.
Now, Auburn documents show Grayson scored a 30 out of 100 on his firearms course and passed. However, while getting hired at Sangamon County, he received a 94%. I reached out to the Auburn Police Department to ask why a 30 out of 100 score qualified as passing and was denied any commentary. In studio, I'm Carolina Hassett. Back to you, Stacey.
Thanks, Carolina. According to Sangamon County documents, Grayson refused to answer questions during his internal affairs interview on July 16th. Well, following the death of Sonya Massey, questions are being raised about the training for police officers. The Illinois Sheriff's Association told us officers go through a 16-week training academy and field training. They say the field training may vary by department, but they emphasize that officers conducting this training must be well prepared. Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.